Today on Friends from College, we're talking about book writing, serenading, and pregnancies. All that and more on our last 2 episodes of the season. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to AfterBuzz TV. We are here doing Friends from College, Season 2, Episodes 7 and 8, Fireworks and the Wedding. It's the last 2 episodes. We're already here. We're at the end of the season. It's crazy. I'm your host, Marisa Serafini. Joining me, I have...
I'm Courtney Allen. I'm so excited to finish this.
I'm Maddie Pocks. Wow, what just happened in these 2 episodes? I can't believe it's already over and that's the finale, but I'm really excited to talk about this.
I know. So we're definitely going to cover episodes 7 and 8 just to quickly reiterate that this was, we were going 2 episodes at a time. So now, if you want to throw your predictions and stuff for maybe season 3, go ahead, write in the live chat there or in the comments afterwards, and we definitely want to hear your thoughts too, because now, spoilers are just, we've seen everything. We're finally there. Before we get into it, I want to know what were your quick thoughts of the last 2 episodes, Courtney.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, there's just so much. I literally don't even know where to start. So I'm just happy, Lisa. I'm happy for Lisa. Like, that's all that matters to me right now, that she got her dream angel baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for her too. And, in the finale, I was feeling a little bit bad for Sam when she got stood up at the airport and everything that's happening with her and Ethan. But it kind of is karma. And I don't think she deserved it, but it's funny to see how everything comes back to haunt her a little bit, and then she runs back to John. But we'll get into that.
Right. Sam definitely learned the definition of karma throughout this whole entire season, too. We'll definitely get into it when we get to that point for episode 8. But yeah, I felt like this was the last 2 episodes were a great wrap-up for the entire season, because everything just came to, the end. I mean, a lot of things weren't resolved yet, and we saw the build-up, and then this was more fallout from last season of 1, and I just think it left a lot of things open-ended for a potential season 3, and I like that. That's what a good show does, is leave more open storylines for them to keep telling.
Absolutely. No, I 100% agree with that, especially how it ended at the very end with Ethan and Lisa, how they were just kind of like, well, we're here now.
Yeah.
we got to deal with it.
It's like they tried to, be in a different relationship with different people and move on, and then they just get pulled back together, which was interesting to see.
Yeah. So let's get into it. So episode 7 with fireworks. We see really at the beginning Max, he kind of prematurely quits his job unintentionally. He wants to now write this book, and it says deuces to his agent job, his literary agent job, and all of his coworkers like, I want his client and whatnot. Do you think this was too soon for Max to do this?
Considering Max literally admitted to Ethan, he was like, I haven't written a page. I haven't written a single page. He was just like, I think he should have tried or done a little bit more, at least to see, because it's not like he didn't have time to keep working his job. And he obviously seemed like he liked his job. So that's why I was a little confused that he just made that move.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, it's not necessary.
It was like everyone in the office didn't even care that he was kind of leaving. They just wanted all his clients, and they all just run out. And I think it just flashed before him, and then I think he's making a mistake. He's going to miss doing his job and having all his clients and stuff, because that obviously keeps him busy. So.
Right. And while I'm watching him, make this announcement, I just kept thinking, why can't he be an agent and a writer simultaneously?
Yeah.
That's true.
He was like, can you only do one job at a time? I don't know. Or is that a conflict of interest? I don't know. But I actually know some literary agents, and they write books all the time too. So I'm just thinking, why can't he just do both jobs?
Yeah, he got overly excited, and then it was just sad because he was so excited in the meeting room with his coworkers, and then they were talking about gender transitioning, and he's like, "No, this is not what we're doing right now.
Look so pretty."
What this is about.
That's probably my favorite line. It's like, you're gonna look so pretty.
Yeah, it's almost like they didn't take him seriously, and they're like, "Why would you quit? You have 15 years under your belt of all these clients and have such a great job, and then you're just gonna throw it away for someone else's book that you want to write with them, and yeah.
Well, I don't see now. Just replaying the scene, I don't think he intentionally wanted to quit per se. Everyone else just thought he was quitting, and it just kind of like played out like that. And especially when he was talking to his co-worker, and I loved how she's like, I wanted to be a writer once.
I was depressed.
Like, and by night suffering from crippling depression. I'm like, oh, girl, that's sad. Maybe you're in the wrong field.
Yeah.
But it's just, I totally think he could totally be a literary agent and a writer at the same time. I mean, so many people do multiple jobs. Why can't he? But we do see those moments where he's trying to write the book and even getting help from Cyrus, that tech guy. But I don't know. Maybe it's his writing process that he is just a better literary agent than an actual writer. Do you agree with that? Or
He's definitely going to have like an epiphany and be like, okay, I need to either get my job back and just do writing on the side, because he just seems so stressed out. And he obviously is bored just at home as well and has writer's block, so he's going crazy a little bit. He's one of those people who needs to just keep busy, so he needs both, I think.
I think it also just made him realize that there is a huge difference between contributing ideas and physically writing a book, because there is a huge difference. And I don't think maybe he just didn't think that through, I guess, all the way, because he was excited, but once he like sat down to write, he didn't seem like he had much to say.
exactly. But you also see it all the time where other people have the creative ideas, but once they actually do it, they can't. And so that's why people hire other people to actually do the job that they can't. And like it happens no matter what field now. I think not to call our producer, or his founder and executive producer, Keven Undergaro. He has amazing creative ideas, but he hires a staff to execute them. So like, and I think it just translates in different industries too. It's like contributing ideas is different from actually doing it. And I think he's a great creative being.
Yeah,
in
like
that sense.
he could have just put or they could have published the book as like story created by Max, and then obviously the writer is Ethan. And then he would still get royalties and money from it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but I mean, it kind of goes into now Ethan passes the book along to him, and it doesn't seem like it's going to play out well. Maybe contract issues do come up at the end. That could be a prediction if this book actually comes to fruition.
I was just
quite
glad
possibly
that Ethan was finally coming to terms that he wasn't passionate about like whatever book they were writing together, because I know we had talked about it in a previous show, and it was just like, come on, like you don't want to do this, like it's not there.
Right.
Yeah, it was funny in that meeting when they're talking to the publisher, and he's like, well, you're in a contract, like you can't just quit doing this book. And he's like, well, Max is going to take it over. And he's like, what? I'm not a writer. What do you mean?
I don't know. So we might see more of the book if it comes to legal actions that Ethan does have to get, is still involved with the writing process. We'll see how it plays out if season 3 comes back. Let's move on. Speaking of Ethan, now we get Ethan and Sam, and they're going public, and they want to tell Lisa. Is this a good idea, them going public, or is it too soon?
I think it's too soon. I give them props for wanting to tell Lisa, but over the phone and like one-on-one in person, that just, I don't know. I would have waited if I was them a little bit. What do you think?
I think that maybe everyone might have assumed that they were already doing it anyway, or especially Lisa. I feel like she would probably just assume the worst. So I don't know about the other friends, but I don't know. I guess if like they told her, I'm just glad that they told her first. You know, not that she cared, but
I think Lisa definitely. It's good that Ethan and Sam thought of Lisa first, but I think Lisa definitely deserves the courtesy of them telling her in person.
Yes.
Not via phone.
Yeah.
Just in person. But what were your thoughts of Nick and Marianne and Max, their quote-unquote normal faces, for when they finally do get the news that they're public?
Well, my favorite part when Nick was they were all just, I don't know, at first I was confused because I wasn't sure how everybody was going to respond to it. And I had totally forgotten that Marianne already knew all that other stuff about what happened with Lisa. So she was totally thinking about it in a different way than Nick and Max. And I'm sure, obviously, Max was just like, this is messy. But when Nick was responding to them touching each other, he was like, I didn't like when you touched her back. Like, that part was so funny to me. Just, like, their little comments, like, chiming in on everything specifically that they didn't like about their relationship. Like, I was like, oh, my gosh, they're so serious right now.
Like, physical affection turns them off.
And what was with that 4th of July party invitation thing? I thought that was so uncomfortable, like, to make it so formal, to have everyone come over and, like, via email them with an invitation saying, you know, Sam and Ethan, and they're all just like, wait, what? This is so weird. And it's just like them when they show up. It's not like an actual party. It's just kind of an excuse for them to tell their friends, you know what, we're together now. Oh, weird.
Yeah, it's just not fully planned or thought out properly by them. And I think if you're going to send an invite, you know, you're going to put, like, at Sam's house, and then you mention the whole announcement at the actual party once you get them there. Not via invitation, like actual names there. It just wasn't fully planned out.
Yeah. It should have just been like a text, hey guys, you want to come over for 4th of July, not a formal invite with both of their names, and like someone has like made that on Illustrator.
And that was quite the sad party too. And even the fireworks don't even properly work. Like, literally just was a complete dud.
Yeah, they I think they might as well not even have that, and I think they realized that toward the end.
Yeah, the fireworks going off in Sam's kitchen, again, kind of deserved with the karma. Literally just blows up in their faces. And but you know, to go back just a little bit, but what were your thoughts on Marianne's comment during all of this and how she actually told them, quite frankly, the truth?
Well, she's always honest, and I like that about her. I think that she's right, and, you know, she's just like, no, you guys shouldn't do this. But, yeah, I love Marianne. She's just in the middle of everything, and she always makes it so funny.
Yeah. She didn't really say anything that anybody else wasn't thinking, but the fact that she was, again, just, like, thrown in the middle, and I feel like the stakes were high again because Lisa was pregnant, and she's, like, always constantly thinking about how everybody else is going to feel about it. So when she stormed out, I actually felt bad for her because that was the first time I felt like she was, like, truly, like, I don't want to be in this position anymore because it's too much.
Right, because you always see Marianne all through season 1 and beginning of season 2, where she witnesses everything, and yet she doesn't say anything. She knows what's right and what's wrong, but yet she's still there stuck. And I think this is one of the first times we actually see her character do something and say something about it, and like removes herself from the situation. And I like that because that kind of just shows growth with Marianne's character. And she had one of the best lines. It's like, you guys have had the most destructive and dishonest relationship since college, and we're supposed to be on board with all of this. I'm like, yeah girl, that's what everyone is thinking. It's like, good for you for saying it out loud because no one else is going to.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think she stole that scene, honestly.
Yeah.
So great on Marianne. While all this is happening, Lisa and Nick. So Lisa is pregnant. Oh no. But she wants to get back together with Nick during all this. I mean, craziness all around. I don't even know how to explain it, but what are your thoughts of how Lisa is just going through all this entire situation?
I think she's handling it pretty well. I would be freaking out even more than she is. And, you know, I think that she shouldn't have went to Charlie and said, okay, now I'm pregnant, because she knows in the back of her head that she had sex with Ethan. So it's like, you know, you should go do the test or talk to him first and then go to Charlie, because they had already broken up and he went a little crazy on her. So she should have waited. But I guess she was just like hoping so much that it was an Ethan. So she was a little in denial.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it seemed like they had gotten to the place where they were having so much sex that I don't even know that she even thought about it. I'm not sure, but I feel bad for her just because it's already been so... I just feel like all three of them are just on a platter for her, and it's just like she's just like going back and forth between all of them, you know? And the pregnancy didn't help that situation, so...
No.
I feel like she can't even cut Ethan loose now, and she said something about it. She was like, I can't even cut him loose now because now I'm stuck with him forever. So that just adds him back to the scenario.
Egg yolked forever. It's terrible. But the whole situation, now she has 3 guys involved. She has Charlie, Ethan, and Nick. Emotionally, mostly emotionally, but just like how she played with everybody. And played is a terrible term, but she is involved with everybody in some shape and form about this pregnancy and about just relationships in general. And now it sounds terrible, she made her bed, now she has to lie in it.
Yeah, poor Charlie. He has so much love for her. He wanted to get married. He thought it was his kid.
He was so happy when he thought it was his kid. Then quickly turned on a dime, when it wasn't his.
The grandparents found out that quickly, and then she was like, "No, stop it! It's not happening."
Yeah.
I think it's kind of scary how they know scientifically exactly what day of the conception. I was like, is it that accurate?
I know, that's what she said
scary.
too. She's like, "Are you sure?" And then she had to look at her calendar. That's
no
crazy.
margin of error.
It's not his baby, honey.
Yeah. But I think one of us predicted that during the moment where they actually had sex in the storage room, the storage unit, that was the moment where
that
she
was
get pregnant.
me.
Yeah.
I predicted it. It was when Marianne was here too. When Marianne was in the studio with us, that's her character's name, sorry.
JC Park.
Yeah, JC Park. I said to her, you know what? I think that she's going to end up getting pregnant. I think that Lisa will end up getting pregnant, and it's going to maybe be from that scene when they have sex in the storage unit.
Mm-hmm. Right, you are. Good
Called
for you.
it, girl.
Proud for you. But now look at all the mess that they have to deal with now. They're finally pregnant. Ethan and Lisa are finally pregnant. But, I mean, it's they didn't expect it to be like this big of a mess when it finally happened.
Mm-hmm. Do we really think, though, that they're going to end up together and raise the kid? I think they're just going to co-parent.
I absolutely agree. I don't think they're going to raise the kid. I don't think that they should be together because I think Ethan's done way too much damage. And Lisa, it was because she doesn't even feel loved at this point. Like, I didn't know she didn't feel like he didn't love her at all. But, like, that speech she gave Nick from the last episode, I was like, wow, she doesn't even feel like he loved her at all. Mm-hmm. That's rough. Yeah. Come back from that.
Ethan's done damage, but in fairness, Lisa has done damage too. So, but I do have a question for predictions later when it comes to Lisa and Nick, so remind me when we get there. But anything else about episode 7 that you liked we may have missed before we move on to episode 8, the wedding?
I'm ready for episode 8.
All right.
Ready.
Yeah. Well, before we do, I always want to thank everyone on YouTube for commenting and subscribing. So what else can they do for us?
So before we move on to the next topic, we just wanted to say thank you for making us the ESPN of TV talk. For us to continue to grow, we could really use your help. If you're on YouTube right now, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And if you're on iTunes, please give us a 5-star rating. But no matter where you are, leave us a comment so you can get involved in the conversation. Being a part of AfterBuzz TV has meant so much to all of us, and we really appreciate your support in doing what we love. Don't forget to tell your friends, and please keep enjoying our shows.
Yes, so always thank you for subscribing and rating and commenting, and let us know what your overall thoughts of season 2 was and what your predictions are for season 3, and we will definitely read them when we come back for season 3 in the future. Moving on to episode 8, the wedding. John, Sam, and Ethan. Like, I just have it in my notes, like this group, because well, first of all, let's start with John. He wants to get back with Sam. Good idea? Bad idea? What are your thoughts?
I wasn't expecting that at all. I thought he was happy with that teacher, but I guess they broke up. I think that's pretty common if people want to get back together for the kid. I don't know if it's a good idea. I don't think he'll be able to get over it, but I guess we'll see if that does end up happening.
I don't think it's a good idea. And it was more so in the reasons. Like, he was so desperate because he suggested that they have another kid, and everybody knows that doesn't fix the problem.
No, it doesn't.
So it's like, y'all have been in a marriage, and now you're throwing in these ultimatums or whatever he thinks that it's going to mend the relationship. But And you could tell by Sam's reaction, she's wasn't feeling it. So
Yeah. I think he just doesn't want to be alone now that he's not dating the other chick now. And he already knows that Sam is in love with Ethan, and she was cheating on him with, them together. And then now, he's begging for her back. Like, what does he expect? That she's suddenly going to not be in love with Ethan? I don't understand his reasoning, but... Yeah.
Right. I think John might have some slight codependency issues.
Yeah.
Because he's definitely dependent on Sam. He just wants to be with someone. When he wasn't with Sam, he went to that teacher for like a blip of a millisecond, whatever. And then now he's not with her anymore. It's like, who else does he have? Well, let me go back to Sam. And make all these lame excuses for it. It'll keep the family together or what have you. But I just think John doesn't want to be by himself.
Yeah.
He just
I
wants,
definitely see that.
Yeah, he just wants someone in his life. But I don't think it's a good idea either. And Sam doesn't think so. She says unhappy family is the worst thing for them. Agreed, girl. Let's talk about Ethan and Max. I mean, it kind of now goes to the going back to the book and the whole book writing. Max finally admits that he can't write it, but he also finally learns that Felix was the one who kind of helped stir the pot a little bit and pull some of these strings, the puppet master, and make all this happen. What are your thoughts of how Max found out about this, and Max and Felix just right before they got married? They found this out.
During the photos.
Yeah, during the photo shoot. What an awkward photo shoot.
Yeah, I get why Max would be frustrated, because he's just thinking that Ethan, is believing in him and wants to write with him and stuff. But he kind of has to look at Felix and just say, okay, well, I'm kind of happy you did it, or else this would have never happened. So I don't know if I'd be particularly mad at my significant other for doing that, but I don't know.
I feel like he should have expected Felix to do something like that. He's such a dominant partner that I feel like he should have. I would be like, oh, that's what happened. I would be more like be connecting dots rather than. But I guess I could see the betrayal in it, because Max does feel powerless, and I feel like he feels powerless sometimes because he's not making decisions and standing up for himself as much as he should. So I think when someone does it for you, you just feel like, I don't know, that can't feel good.
Yeah. Right. I think it was unfortunate timing because it was right before the wedding, but also good timing because you don't want to go into a new marriage with lies and secrets, especially to each other. So I'm glad that that was finally open and out in the open in that sense. So because it just kind of starts their marriage on a more honest note, that they can finally tell something like that. And I think it's good for Max to finally realize, oh, Felix is such a great guy.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's so we always see that it's the people outside the immediate group of friends that are the better people.
Yeah, they can really look in and be like, okay, I need to step in. This isn't right.
Right. What are your thoughts of Felix serenading Max during the wedding?
That was one of my favorite parts. That was hilarious. His high-pitched voice.
I wanted it to stop. I was like, how long is he going to go?
And everyone's just there looking longingly oh, how sweet. And I'm like, ooh, that's true love there, listening to that whole song.
I know. I couldn't tell if he was joking in the beginning. And I was like, no, this is going on for a while, and everyone's trying not to laugh.
It was sweet, as awful as it was, the singing part. It was very sweet because it definitely shows how much Felix does love Max, because we always see Felix doing stuff for Max, but we never really see Max do anything for Felix.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Max,
yeah,
step up your game a little
A
bit.
bit more considerate in this marriage now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's almost like Felix is kind of babying him sometimes, and then he'll be really annoyed and then try and fix the problem, and Max is just seems, I don't know, he just seems lost a little bit half the time.
But Felix, his personality is so strong, so I feel like he's always going to be taking control of situations, and it's always going to be like that. He doesn't even think about Felix, and he's like, how can I make this better for Felix? Because Felix is doing just fine.
Right. But even before the whole, well, actually, so they're taking the photos. The whole friends from college. I love how they actually threw in the line, friends from college, get together, take a photo. And during all this, we see Charlie finally getting throwing punches to Ethan and Nick. Is it warranted? Do these guys deserve it? I kind of think so.
Yes and no. I think that Charlie needed to hear the full story first because he's just throwing punches at random people. And then I love how he has his hood up, like trying to disguise himself. Does he think that no one's going to know it's him? And then he's like so nervous or something that he turns around and obviously everyone can see it's Charlie. And they're like, why are you punching us? Like, what's going on? He's just a wreck. I feel bad for him.
He did it in true Charlie fashion.
He did.
I'm glad that he did that, though, exactly how he did it, because it's such a joke that you're just like, just let him have his moment. It was not like he was like a real threat or anything. You gotta feel like it, I don't know, they kind of deserved it. I kind of wish he came a little bit harder, but I knew he wouldn't, because it's Charlie.
It was definitely to the Charlie fashion because he's more of a slapstick kind of character. We saw him with his cool, quote uncool dance a couple episodes ago, and this one now throwing punches and trying to run away from the guard, dislocating his arm, and then pulling off his best soccer foot trick moves and like breaking ankles with the guard and like running around. It was more of a physical slapstick comedy bit, and that's his character, but it was done really funny.
Yeah.
So I'll give it to him. I'm glad that he finally got his quote-unquote aggression out on the men, but I don't know. I think it was enough for them to realize what they've done.
Yeah.
And that's it.
From an outsider, it's like that friends group makes people lose their mind as an outsider, clearly, because of what Charlie's going through. He's like, I can't take it anymore. I gotta punch someone out or two people. Like, you guys are crazy.
You did this, Lisa. It's on you.
In the opening scene, though, when that first happened in episode 8, I was like, what is he planning? What is he going to do? Because I'm seriously concerned. He's going to embarrass himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole Eye of the Tiger montage is the best. I'm like seriously one of the biggest Rocky fans you'll ever know. And so the whole punching sequence is like, you knew this is going to be a big setup for something.
Yeah.
And you should have saw it coming when it actually did. And I was like, oh, that did happen.
Yeah.
Throwing the first punch, hysterical. It was actually a great scene. If you isolate the scene, it's pretty funny. So good on Charlie for actually doing what he wanted to do. What are your thoughts of Nick realizing Lisa's pregnancy and wanting to, and he had a lot of like ups and downs in this episode and ins and outs with Lisa, but what are your thoughts of Nick's process realizing Lisa's pregnant, not wanting to be in the relationship anymore, but now wanting to raise the baby? Like, again, the ups and downs for his character this episode. What are your thoughts?
When
you go.
when they first had the talk about it, I was confused as to why he was mad at her, because there was nothing she could do. I didn't feel like that was fair, but I was a little thrown off when he told her that he loved her. I thought he was just being kind of dramatic. Like, I knew he liked Lisa, but I didn't know he loved her like that, like in love. But when at the end he was like, it should have been me, I was like, whoa, bro, like, you took this seriously. And I felt kind of bad for him at that point, but he needed to take responsibility for what he did with the other girl that he was dating, like how he broke up with her. Like, Lisa had nothing to do with that. She was like, you just went on that was your thing.
Yeah. He's crazy for blaming Lisa for that. I think that, he walked away willingly, and he just assumed that Lisa would have him. Like, what if she rejected him? And he just wasn't thinking straight when he was yelling at her. I was surprised that he was getting really mad at her, because when she slept with Ethan, that was way before they actually officially started hooking up or dating or whatever. So I'm on Lisa's side. I don't think that Nick should have gotten that mad. It's not really her fault. So
Right. I was just more surprised because we never really see Nick angry. ever. I think this is the first time we actually see him like on an angry, unhappy note, because he's always the fun, lighthearted kid, and to really switch to anger just shows like how much he really was serious for Lisa. And you do feel bad because Lisa did play a big part in all this and played with his emotions, and that whole line, "It should have been me," and I'm like, oh crap, because you do see that he does love her in the actions, helping her move and X, Y, and Z and stuff. So I really do feel for Nick, because he did give up a good thing with Meryl. Good point. But the reasoning of the vibes, you sent out vibes that we should be together. I'm like, is that a strong enough reason to get together?
Yeah.
And to blame it on just the vibes, you sent out the wrong vibes.
He just, making excuses because he's stressed out. But he needed just like a quick timeout. And then I love that rollerblading scene with him. And then he's like looking at the kid and her mom in the playground, and they're like, what?
She's like, creep.
But that was funny, and he's like dancing in the street. So he just needed like a second, and then he's like, okay, maybe I could just raise a kid with someone I love, even though it's not my kid.
Right. Because maybe that's all he does really want, is just to be in Lisa's life and be a part of her life. Maybe not marriage, but just to be there to support, in a sense.
Having a stepkid maybe is a good thing for him. He needs to grow up a little bit, I think, so it could be good.
Yeah. And do you think he would be a good father, though?
Yeah. I think, well, he's a little immature, but I think he's really fun, and he can learn to be more parental and serious.
That's a good question. Because there were some times when he would be talking to Meryl's son, and I would be like, whoa, buddy, you're taking it there. But I think it's also a little different because he just came in the picture, and I think that the more time he got to spend with her and her son, he would have changed. And especially if he was in someone's life from the time they were born, I think that he would be able to adjust and grow up. Because he wouldn't have a choice. He really wouldn't.
No. Eventually there will be a moment where he has to be an adult. And maybe raising Lisa's baby would force him to become that parent, or just become the adult that he's supposed to be now.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see a character growth in him in season 3. So Lisa and Nick now know about the pregnancy, and also Ethan finally finds out, breaking the patient confidentiality with Felix. But what are your thoughts of Ethan and how he responded to the situation, now wanting to be by Lisa's side?
It was really bad timing, obviously, because he's about to go to Paris. So I think it's cute how he's going to Lisa's side. She finally wanted a child, and she gets it. So that's great that he wants to be by her side. But he could have picked up the phone, called Sam, and said, hey, I'm not going to make it to the airport. So actions speak louder than words, and he kind of ditched out on Sam, and his heart is with Lisa, I guess, on this one.
Yeah, that's a big deal, though. Like, I feel like he was so flustered, and I'm trying to figure out if I think that means anything for him to have forgotten Sam at the airport.
Yeah, Sam so abruptly.
Yeah. I'm like,
how do you just forget that?
Yeah.
Like, I have a flight to Paris with the woman I supposedly love. Okay, never mind.
And then, but Ethan didn't really want a kid, but it seemed like he really, really wanted it once he found out, got the confirmation. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen with the baby and Ethan and Lisa and on that end.
Yeah, and I just question, does Ethan still want Lisa, or does Ethan still want this baby? So, I mean, I think it's really separate, even though they are kind of together, because he can be with Lisa just like at her side physically, during this appointment. But does he really want a baby? Because they tried to have a baby for years. So does he just like the idea of being a father instead?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think he really wants Lisa back.
Yeah.
I just think he's excited about the baby. It's finally, it's finally coming for him, so it's good. But I think he still wants Sam, but that was a crazy move. Not even texting her, saying, you know what? I actually am with Lisa. She's having a baby and it's mine. Don't get on that plane.
I don't know how you're
That
gonna
deserves
make
a
that up to her.
phone call, not
Yeah.
a text.
And she had the baguette.
Yeah,
How do you get?
so
how do you-
excited?
How do you pass a baguette through TSA? That's my question.
I know.
Like, do they sell
Good one.
baguettes at the airport? I don't think so.
Yeah, like in the States, wouldn't you get a baguette when you land in Paris? Like a fresh one.
I have no idea. I know, no idea. But we do see Sam stood up at the airport. Karma, once again. But then at the end of the episode, she goes back to John because John earlier expressed interest of getting back together. Good idea? Bad idea?
Bad idea.
So stupid.
Bad
so
idea.
impulsive.
Yeah.
Totally an emotional decision.
She just like doesn't want to be alone because she got stood up, and she just goes straight to him. And then what happens when Ethan actually calls her, and then she's just gonna leave John again, and he's gonna be like,
start
"Oh my
sleeping.
god."
It's a vicious cycle right there.
It is. This group of friends just plays with everybody in the terrible ways. Like they want instant gratification from other people. And It's really bad. Like if they need something, they'll immediately go to someone such as like Felix or John, and they'll have them get involved. And then once they don't need them anymore, like, oh, I forget about you, whatever.
Yeah.
She could have at least waited to talk to him. Because if someone leaves me at the airport and we're on our way to Paris, you're getting a phone call from me, and I'm gonna find out what happened. I'm not about to make decisions that quickly.
Yeah, like what if he got into a car accident or something happened to him? Like, you know, she's just assuming the worst, I guess. She could have picked up the phone and called him.
I know. It's communication. Everyone just needs to communicate with each other.
Yeah.
Like that would solve so many of their issues right now. Just talk it out.
Why would he stand her up? He like went through all that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just in her feelings.
Could have changed the flight to 2 days later or something and just told her what was happening.
Yeah,
It didn't
yeah.
have to be so
They
dramatic.
both could have done better for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ethan and Sam definitely could have talked to each other afterwards. It was just like get on the same page of what happened of that day, and not just immediately go back to their former wives or husbands just because you're emotional.
Yeah.
Goodness. I mean, but it's also great writing because it's frustrating to see characters just go with people that we know they shouldn't be with. But overall, great season.
Yes.
For season
Yeah.
2.
I loved it.
Any last final thoughts of or like favorite moments or favorite lines of these last 2 episodes that like really stood out to you?
Well, favorites was Felix singing high pitched for sure, and then I loved when Nick was rollerblading and dancing on the street. That was cute.
The Marianne's comment about the reincarnation of Tag really just threw me. I thought that was really funny. I'm like, oh god, she was so serious.
So serious about it. But
like
it's
that
it's also very sweet.
Yeah,
You're like, oh man, she's like she really believes in this.
maybe.
I thought that was hysterical too. But it'll be nice to see what like actually comes about all of this. So I think that leads us into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So I always have to ask, and this is gonna sound terrible, but trust me. Every time you see a pregnancy, whether in a film or on television, do you think this pregnancy will actually last? Like, will it be a miscarriage? Because we know they've tried for years and it's never actually happened. So do you think this baby will actually come to full terms?
It would be extremely harsh for it not to come to full term, I feel like, for Lisa. So I'm going to say yes, she's going to have the baby. She's going to have it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to say yes, because that would be really, really tragic for Lisa. I really hope that they don't make her not have the baby. So,
Okay.
What do you think? You think she's not?
I'd love to see this baby actually come to
okay.
fruition because it's just really unfortunate for all these characters to go through all this crap for it to not have a payoff with the baby at the
Yeah.
end. So it would be good to like finally force everyone to just kind of grow up and get over themselves and just be like, I don't care how we got there. We have a baby now.
Yeah.
Let's focus on that.
Not only that, I'm going to insert myself real quick. y'all know Keegan-Michael Key and Colby Smulders would have a good-looking baby. I'm just gonna say.
That's
you,
very
Jeff.
true.
Agreed. Or are we actually going to take a DNA test to see if it really isn't
Oh, plot
Ethan's
twist.
baby? It's really Charlie's. I know they said that the margin of error is really there's really is none, and the math is there, but it could be Charlie's. We
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
The one nice thing is, in this case, it's not like it's two white brunette guys who are having a baby with Lisa. So
Right.
we'll probably have a decent feeling of who the dad is when,
Yeah.
when this baby shows
right.
up.
When the baby comes out, it's gonna be
It's gonna be
look
crystal
way
clear.
different.
Who do you think is actually going to be there, Nick or Ethan, for the baby? Like just raising this child.
Well, both. I think they
Yeah.
really are into raising this child, and obviously into Lisa. Well, Nick's into Lisa, so he'll be there. And Ethan so badly wants to be a dad, so I don't see him not being there.
Okay. The fallout with Ethan and Sam, where do you think they're heading into season 3 if they are now, quote unquote, split up?
Oh,
I kind of hope it's over. I want to see a different storyline for Ethan. I do. And I don't want Sam to be with John because I just don't think they're a good fit, but I think Sam's going to get jealous of seeing that new connection that Lisa and Ethan have. I don't think she'll be able to handle it.
yeah, they need new relationships, new people, not new friends group, well, sort of, but I think they just keep backtracking, and it's not going anywhere, and there's too much drama, too much has been done, so I really hope that they both move on.
Right. What other predictions do you have? Those were like really my main questions of what we could maybe foresee in season 3, but anything else that you would like to predict?
I want to see more from Marianne, so I'm predicting that she might get into a relationship.
Okay. After Tag. Rest in peace, Tag.
I was just going to say that. I was like, I want to see Marianne fall in love. She needs a love story instead of just being in between everyone else's. And maybe Sam and or Lisa, and Nick can get married or something. Something like that, because Lisa really deserves that happiness.
I'm all for that because I've been saying it from episode 1 of this after show that Lisa and Nick need to get together.
Yeah, you have.
It's like I'm rooting for them so hard. So maybe that'll just be my predictions that Lisa and Nick finally end up together, whether be married or just raising this child, and maybe Sam and Ethan are finally done. I'm kind of like the story is just their story is too messy.
It was so messy.
Yeah.
And to go into like 3 seasons now, we do need
they need to
a
cut
different
the cord.
story. Yeah, different story. But other than that, thank you everyone for tuning in to all of our after shows this whole season 2. In the meantime, where can everyone keep following?
You can follow me on Instagram at Courtney Ray Allen.
And I'm Maddie Pocks. You can find me on Instagram at Maddie Pocks. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for watching.
Yes, and you can follow me everywhere at Serafini TV. And please rate, subscribe, comment everywhere at AfterBuzz TV, YouTube, iTunes, all that fun stuff. Thank you so much for tuning in for season 2, and hopefully we'll be back for season 3 when that comes around. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.